Please help me welcome Dr. William Jackson.
I want to thank the Triangle MLK committee for arranging this event and for inviting me here to speak. I'd also like to thank the United Way as well for bestowing me the honor of being one of the 10 to watch. Super grateful and thankful for that. You all might notice that I have my coat and my scarf and my sweater on. I've been a little under the weather, but I am excited that I woke up this morning to be here with you all. Not 6 months into starting Village of Wisdom, I sat in a room full of Black parents and children, and I posited a question to the kids. I said, I want to know what y'all want to know about Black history. They went back and conferred with each other and came back to the room, and one of the kids stood up and he said, I want to know who came up with the idea that Black people are less than. Yeah, that's about what happened in the room. But as we look around, it should not be surprising that a young Black boy might think to himself, I wonder who came up with this idea that I'm supposed to be suspended 2 to 3 to 10 times as likely as my white peers. I might also wonder that if I knew that there was a study done in Chicago that surveyed Black kids and 93% of them said that they experienced discrimination over a 3-month period. I might wonder that if I looked at my brown and Black brothers who are at the borders being held at detainee camps, separated from their families, I might wonder these things. And I think my mom probably knew better. Because you see, when I was a young boy, she brainwashed me into believing that all scientists were Black. No, for real. See, she started off really early planting seeds into me, making me believe that George Washington Carver, Mae Jemison, and Dr. Charles Drew were my destiny. That I would become a scientist that could change the world for my people and with my people. And so, as I think forward now to what Village of Wisdom has become, as was just read to you all, this idea of protecting Black genius. You see, I was looking out over a lot of organizations and a lot of people saying that they wanted to work with Black kids and they wanted to work with brown kids, but the thing that kept on being confusing to me is that nobody wanted to talk about race. How is it that you are going to help a child feel better about their educational outcomes, but you don't want to have a real serious conversation about how you're going to make them feel good about the skin that they're in? And so we said that there's a race-based problem, we need to bring a race-based solution. So we would work with families to do the things that they've always been doing, to encourage their Black and brown babies to believe that they can do whatever it is that they put their minds to. Fast forward to just a few months ago, sitting in a room with a room full of Black parents and a room full of Black kids. Y'all know what I do by now. Mom stands up and she starts to talk about how her baby is going to a school where apparently the library is no longer functioning. What do you mean, Will? Well, apparently this baby wants to rent out some books, but the teacher doesn't want to let it happen. Why is the teacher the one who would be renting out the books? Oh, because the librarian is no longer there. Still seems strange. I mean, what's the point of a library if you can't rent books out? That's what Taylor Weber Fields from our team and Anthony Jones said. They said, hey, we'll go with you up to the school and see what's going on. Talk to the principal, and they figure out that, basically they weren't giving the books out because they didn't think the books would come back. Well, one, you're thinking something that you don't know is true. And second of all, if the babies need the books, then can they please have the books, please? But this kind of brought me back to another problem when I think about the seeds that we continuously sow in our kids, because one of the things I had to ask myself is, this was a black and brown school. If this was a white school, would this be allowed to happen? If this was a high-income school, would this be allowed to happen? And see, I see a lot of people blaming kids and black parents for their failures and their inabilities to do well in school, but I can't help but see the water. And some people might be wondering what I'm saying. If you saw a lake and all of the fish were dead, what would the conclusion be that you came to? Would you say that the fish were broken, or would you say that the lake was dirty? I think we need to find a different way to begin to look at these problems, and that's what we are envisioning to do at Village of Wisdom. We want to dream for a day where our kids can swim in clean water. A day when it's not hard to find their thumbprint on the mathematics that are in their books. It is not difficult to understand the contributions that their people have made to the stories of our country. It is not difficult for them to understand how they have put a culture on this United States that we live in. And so, while one of our main points at Village of Wisdom is to make sure that kids are hearing the positive messages about their blackness, that they are black and beautiful, that they are black and bold, that they are black and dreamy, they are black and whatever they want to be. We have started to turn our eye towards the system. Because I want to know what is the institutional commitment of this school to be a racially equitable place for my children. I want to know if I asked 10 of the kids in these classrooms, would they say that they had experienced discrimination today? I want to know if this school is highlighting the intellectual contributions of folks that look like the children in the seats. See, these are questions that we don't ask a lot. We talk about the achievement gap, but I find it very, very fishy that we never talk about the discrimination that happens. How is it that we have a race-based problem again and nobody wants to talk about the racism that's causing it? Well, that is what we are seeking now to change. We want to plant some new seeds. We want to bear some new fruits. And my question today is, what types of seeds are you planting? What types of seeds are you cultivating? Are you cultivating the types of seeds that would threaten the water quality of Standing Rock? Or are you planting the types of seeds that would lead to a black woman district attorney, Satana DeBerry, who's trying to revolutionize how we handle our criminal justice system in Durham? And the last thing I'll say before I hasten to my seat is that this question about cultivating seeds has to do about us doing some difficult work. You see, it's real easy to point to that racist over there, that sexist over there, that homophobe over there. My brother. But it is much harder to look inside of yourself, to recognize that the evil that is in your neighbor is just as likely in you. Because when we allow ourselves to see how we might be participating in oppression, do you know what we have just done? We've just eliminated one more person who is inactively participating in racism. Let me see if I can give y'all an analogy. You see, racism is kind of like a walking sidewalk. Moving sidewalk, my bad. You see, on a moving sidewalk, you don't have to walk to keep going forward. If you want to go in the opposite direction, you actually literally have to walk in the opposite direction. And so what I'm saying, as I ask you this question of what types of seeds are you cultivating, are you willing to do the daily work to seed out the oppressive ways that you might be participating in these ideas of racism and sexism and homophobia? Because when we collectively decide that is what we want to do, then we can create new systems of equity and justice that our babies deserve. And indeed, when I talk about Black genius, that is exactly what I'm talking about. The ability to create new systems of equity and justice. Just like Dr. King talked about some 55 years ago now. A day when his children wouldn't be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. So, I don't have the greatest closing. But I'll leave y'all with that question. What seeds are you planting?
Come on, let's celebrate 3 United Ways teams to watch. You have shared with us